Another advert. How I literally just started the video. How can I have another advert? Someone's fucking me over on these adverts, man, on their end. Like, he's probably doubled up on the amount of adverts you could put in a video or something.
Saying that he was going to kill himself. And I sat there and said, listen, my friend, I want you to make me a promise. I want you to make me a promise that you're going to get six-pack first and send me a picture of you with a six-pack. Start training. By the time he started sending me physique updates of him in a better condition.
By the time he started sending me physique updates of him in a better condition, his debilitating suicidal tendencies had eradicated. There's no way someone sends you, like, what a horrible man. Andrew, I need your help. I'm feeling very, very down. Well, have you tried getting a six-pack? Fuck off and come back to me when you have.
He started sending me huge emails of apology and thank you, saying you saved my life. I can't believe I was thinking of myself.
Has Andrew Tate saved a
Listen, Andrew Tate talks like a fucking American, and he's not an American, he's a twat.
Generation of men?
Huge emails of apology and thank you, saying you saved my life. I can't believe I was thinking.
I can't believe. Like, who the fuck is he?
Myself.
Has Andrew Tate saved a generation of men?
No.
A very controversial figure. He's loved by many.
Not really.
And he's hated by many. I don't think many people hold a neutral opinion of Andrew Tate. But today, I want to talk about his influence on men.
Well, that's the whole point. That's his target audience, angry young men, confused young men. You're one of them.
And his influence on a certain generation of men. I'd say that's my generation. From about age 21, 22, up to about 40.
Right. I don't think there's any limit on naivety in terms of age, but yeah, go ahead.
It could fluctuate, you know, a bit higher and a bit lower. But Andrew Tate...
He's made fantastic points. Who? Andrew Tate or this guy? Like this, in this video, the points he makes... Andrew Tate, you think, makes good points? No, I disagree. I can rip him to pieces. I can rip his ass. Like, Andrew Tate's not fully versed on psychology and sociology. He's just a misogynist who harnesses the anger of young men. He's not good. He's not. Like, he's the cause of... Like, you know, one of the big problems we've got in our society, this is important about this thing with Luke, is that Luke is talking about the Nicola Bulley case and Peter Folding and them, and they're talking about the, you know, got me on Peter Folding again, but it comes with the package now, yeah, but no, talking about this Nicola Bulley case, but Peter Folding is one of the men that stood arm to arm, linked in line with the other misogynists who go around doing horrible things to women. It's endemic in a sort of social, like... We're trying to eradicate violence against women, and one of the things that a case like the Nicola Bulley case highlights is that some women don't even feel safe in their own homes, in their own relationships. And what Andrew Tate has done and does encourages, perpetuates, legitimizes a sense that women are objectified objects, something that you should control or use as a resource, and that you, the man, are in some way superior. It's misogyny of the highest order, and the knock-on effect in young men is that they don't respect women properly and therefore end up doing bad things. So,
for some men, has saved their lives. For a lot of men, Andrew Tate has got them from being in a deep, deep hole of depression and anxiety, self-pity, self-hate, into strong, confident,
aggressive, selfish, ignorant,
powerful, hard-working.
And this is the line that Andrew Tate will sell you to try and get you to buy into his ideas. I create men that are successful. So follow me and you too could be successful. But what evidence have you got to say that Andrew Tate creates successful men? Like, what real evidence have you got to suggest that?
Motivational men. No matter...
I will definitely watch that. I'll definitely watch that. Give me a second. I want to watch this first because we're already into it now, but definitely going to watch that. And I need to take another toilet break as well. Because I've been up all night drinking coffee.
He has saved a lot of men's lives. Some of the things that he says are really controversial, and some of the things that he says I don't agree with. A lot of men of my generation have mental health problems. 77% of suicides are from men. There's a massive gender gap between suicide. And I know from my own personal experience and from speaking to people and from seeing comments and videos online that Andrew Tate has rescued a lot of men, no matter what you think of him. I've been quite depressed in the past. I've got all the letters of the alphabet with
Excuse me, this idiot says that because I know from anecdotal evidence, maybe someone told me themselves in the pub, or, you know, a friend, or him himself, anecdotal evidence, or comments online, that Andrew Tate's a good person. But Andrew Tate can pay people to write comments that support his agenda under his videos, so that idiots like you buy into that narrative. And this is exactly what goes on. You know, when you see these comments under his videos saying, Luke, you're brilliant, I fucking believe, and I say these women are like, and they're like AD's women. It might not be that. It might be that those aren't really women. There's somebody in a fucking call centre in the Philippines that's being paid by the right wing to suck the balls off anything that they want to promote. Like, you know, like, don't believe the hype. Alexa, play Don't Believe the Hype.
Don't Believe the Hype and similar songs on Amazon Music.
Stop. Heard it on the radio. A rhyme animal. What's a brother know?
the ADHD and the OCD and all this, that and the other. And I've been really low. And I came across Andrew Tate online.
Great.
And I thought, who's this?
While you're naive and vulnerable to his particular kinds of manipulation, you came across him online, and that's exactly what he relies on, is, you know, naive, vulnerable young man finding him online at a point where they're vulnerable to his narcissistic bollocks.
Who's this loudmouth bald guy with his shirt half undone smoking a cigar? And initially I didn't like him, but then I started to watch more of his videos and more of what he's about.
But listen as well, the idea that cut everything out and you'll make your goals, this is a bollocks. Again, it's like there's this idea that all billionaires share the same traits, like none of them, for example, they all get up really early in the morning, but also it might be that they have to get up early because it's really complicated doing a billionaire's life. Mark Zuckerberg, before he became really, really rich, didn't get up early in the morning. In fact, if you watch that film, it's a bit of a propaganda thing, but you know, when he was at college, he was a bit of a slovenly bum, wearing his dressing gown and sleeping in. But because he's really, really rich and he's got like a personal trainer and a chef and someone to wake him up and dress him and, you know, an agenda and a business day to go ahead and do, like, he tends to get up in the morning now and start running and doing all these other things. And he's also got lots and lots of time to do it in because he's now really, really rich. So like, money can change things. And the idea that like someone like Andrew Tate, was Andrew Tate public schooled? First of all, I need to know that. Is Andrew Tate public school? Andrew Tate public school. Where did Andrew Tate go to school? Luton, sixth form college. Like, I feel like he's really public school himself. Like, he's not like come from the hard streets or anything, has he? Luton, sixth form college. Like, some people are successful in life not because they cut out this and did that, but because of other reasons. And for him to sell the idea that you simply like, some of those are healthy habits. It's very similar to Jordan Peterson's, you know, tidy your bedroom. Okay, it's healthy habits and you can't really argue with that, can you? Do some press-ups and it will all be great. But it's a very naive and superficial way of assessing the problems, and it doesn't allow any room for psychological growth, really, because what it's actually about is a sort of denial of that. Like, it can't be that you are doing bad things, not just by sleeping in or XYZ, but by being a bad person or not having thought through your goals properly or being selfish or things like that. It's not any of that. It's that you're not doing enough press-ups. And like in the 80s, it reminds me very much of a sort of 80s, you remember the film Wall Street with Michael Douglas, and greed is good. You know, Donald Trump, greed is good, 80s. it's very reminiscent of that sort of Thatcherite, Ayn Randian again thinking. But these people don't know where it comes. Like the people like Tate might know where it comes from and might be repackaging it, but this guy don't know where it comes from and what it means and how it fits in. And he's just like angry and needs a bit of an outlet and to point the finger and say, well, you know, I don't have to do what the young confused white male is living in a world where they are now no longer masters of everyone. They're no, you know, the equality is not easy for them. And Andrew Tate offers them this sense that, well, if I do enough press-ups, I can dominate women in the world. And it's only a matter of how many press-ups I do and how much fucking ignorance I can sustain before it happens. Like, it's not a good, it's not good. It's not, is it? It's not good. Thanks for the link. I will try and get through this and then get onto that.
And like I said, some of the things that he says, they're quite silly, also, really. It's like
some of the things are quite silly and he's a bit controversial, and we'll let him off. You know, Hitler was great, except with the thing about the Jews, but we'll let him off. You know, that's what that's doing. Is he might like some of those things more than he's letting on, but he's not going to say it on the internet because he fears that it's going to get him, like, you know, bad press. So he's going to say, no, look, only the good bits are good and the bad bits I'm not going to stand with. But no, you either stand with Andrew Tate and who he is and supportive of that and think it's good and worth perpetuating, or you kind of don't on this. It's not a sort of set of grey areas. It's quite black and white. The guy's a prick and so are you. And for you to not even have the balls to stand by all of the fucking practice and preaching and just say we're going to pick and choose just some stuff, and I'm not going to specify exactly what it is. So if something comes up and it's bad, I'm going to say yeah I always said he did some bad stuff that I don't agree with. You know, again, it's very airy-fairy.
A lot of things for effect, but a lot of the things that he says and a lot of the things that he promotes and advocates for are saving men's lives. Trust me.
I would argue that toxic masculinity is one of the reasons these young men feel in these terrible situations, because they end up not feeling good enough, not feeling validated in their own self, in society, and they don't even feel they can talk about it.
So, before I met Andrew Tate, I wanted a better body. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted to be able to talk to women.
And listen, are you fucking stupid? Did you not realise that press-ups are the way forward and that eating chocolate is not? Did you need Andrew Tate to tell you to fucking do the simple things in life? Are you that misguided and misled and rudderless that you need an Andrew Tate as a... Like, imagine this. You're going to select someone. Like, imagine you've got a young son and you're going to select someone from our society to be their icon, their idol that they look up to. And it's weird when you're a parent, because I'm not a parent, I don't know this, but I imagine it is, but it's weird when you're a parent because you don't select those people for your children, they select them themselves. And you might think, well, that's a strange person to be having as your poster boy on the bedroom wall. But if you're into it and it's healthy and, like, you know, I guess I support it. Tony Hawk's might not be, see, it's not Tony Hawk's these days, is it? But you know what I mean? Like, Tony Hawk's might not be a doctor or a physician, but he's committed and he's done well and successful and is a healthy, you know, role model or like whatever. Do you know what I mean? But like Andrew, imagine your young son said, like, Andrew Tate, I think Andrew Tate's good, I'm going to start putting pictures of Andrew Tate on my bedroom wall, and Andrew Tate's someone worth following and watching. You'd say, hang on, like, there's a lot more people with a lot more substance and style. Andrew Tate's a pea-headed moron. Like, there's a lot more style and substance out there for you to get your chops around. Like, you don't really want to settle for Andrew Tate, do you? He's a bit of a prick. He's a prat. Like, when I was growing up, like, you know, I had role models that I was able to, I guess, like, a lot of it was music, and, you know, we were listening to Rage Against the Machine on stream last night, didn't we? But also, like I said, my mentor, major in the army, coached me, taught me fencing, you know, those people around me that were good in those ways. But I really admired Muhammad Ali and his strength of his convictions and commitments. You know, I admired certain people. I think Muhammad Ali versus Andrew Tate in any arena, like, Andrew Tate's just a ninny little boy with his trousers around his ankles trying to act like the big man, and like the big man don't have to act. Right.
And communicate with women in a more successful way. I mean, I'm 33 now, and my heyday was when I was about 18, 19, 20. Sort of lost my way a little bit. But discovering Andrew Tate and listening to what he says has put discipline into my life, and it's made me take account for, if I want something, I need to go out and get it.
See, that puts the account on the idea that if you don't have something, you're not working hard enough to get it. And there are some people who work really hard but simply cannot have all the strange and wonderful luxuries that you could possibly buy with money. It's not that clear cut, and it's a very Randian, or like I said, it's a very right-wing conservative Tory party. Thatcher, it's Thatcher essentially, isn't it? There's no such thing as society. Go out there and get your own. It's very, very Thatcher. And you see, the point is, this guy's from a working class area in the north of England, so he shouldn't be preaching the politics of Thatcher. Like, he really, like, not really. In 2023, I suppose they don't understand, do they, people like him? But I'm sure his older peers, hearing him talk like this, would recognise the politics and say, like, well, like, you know, you sound like one of them fuckers that closed down the mines. Like, all those miners should have just gone and got jobs, like, just fucking sort themselves out. What are they doing? Like, you know, there's social and economic reasons why these ideas are perpetuated by these people, and it's strange to hear it coming out of this guy's mouth. But maybe, you know, dog eat dog world, like, get yourself out the what you call it, get yourself out the ghetto. You know, maybe we're at that now in the UK. But this guy's had wonderful opportunities, education. You know, we've got a free education system in the UK, and it's not like America, where people are concerned about, like, turning you into robots. It's a good education, you know. It should have been free university, but obviously we've had problems with the government, haven't we? And I don't know, like, I just feel like it's really strange to hear him preaching these politics. In simple terms, it sounds fair enough. Like, anyway, this is another thing, is that how are you this rudderless at the age of 19 or 20 that you didn't realise that to get something in life you might have needed to work for it? Like, is that what we need? Is it? There's a generation of kids that play so much Fortnite they don't realise that because even on Fortnite, if you want to get good, you've got to grind. Like, I think everyone knows it, but maybe some people for some reason weren't taking accountability, and now are able to point at Andrew Tate and say, because of him I'm taking accountability. But it could have been someone else to teach you that. I don't think Andrew Tate's special for teaching that either. I don't know, there's just, like, I've got so many problems with it, it's unbelievable.
If I want the body, I need to do the press-ups. I've heard Andrew Tate say that before he even has his coffee.
I mean, the thing is, I'm coming from a place where I had these things instilled in me by my dad, I suppose, but also mainly through sport, training, like I said, that mentor and coach from the army. Like, I will stay that extra hour and train hard. Like, that's me, who I've been, and, like, seeing Andrew Tate preach it and going around in a Ferrari and drinking and smoking a cigar and all that business, and, you know, treating women like objects. That's not what it was about. You know, that's not, the people who really do put in the work don't have to flash the fucking Lamborghini and say how, and proving all this, like, no, they're focused on other things. Like, that's not the good team. Like, Andrew Tate doesn't look like one of the good guys. Like, he looks like he's temptation and greed and horror, and, like, you know, it just feels like well wrong.
In the morning, he'll do 200 press-ups, or...
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact figure, but he does.
He does loads, probably, definitely always does. I mean, he might do some, might have taken some steroids. I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
A lot of press-ups. He earns his coffee. I've heard him say that Tristan, many years ago, was playing video games, Call of Duty, and Tristan went in.
This is a Joe Roganism. Joe Rogan said he used to play Quake on his computer, and he was playing loads of video games, and he was like, why am I doing this? I'm only making a score go up on the computer. It's worthless. Video games are stupid. I should do something better with my life. And that's a naivety in itself as well. And it totally writes off everybody who enjoys video games, who makes video games, and the entire industry, which is bigger than the film industry. So get fucked.
To Andrew Tate, and he said, Andy, I've just killed 200 people on Call of Duty. And Andrew Tate said, so?
This is bollocks. He hasn't killed 200 people on Call of Duty. Joe Rogan said this about Quake, and they've lifted the story and pretended it's theirs. Learn to think.
Doesn't mean anything, does it? And he went, yeah, you're right. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, nor does having a fucking Lamborghini or a Bugatti or renting a Bugatti. like, or smoking a cigar, or keeping some women locked in a fucking streamer house in Romania on Chatterbait. Like, it doesn't mean anything, does it? What means something is your strength of character. Like, your respect and reputation is earned more than money and can't be spent, or can be frittered away casually, I suppose. I just, it might be because we're opposed in some ways, but I actually feel like I don't agree with Andrew Tate and his teachings, and to hear this man preaching them like this, I just see someone who's naive and ignorant and has been suckling at the teat of the right-wing paymaster elites that feed them this information. You know, I don't see someone smart, switched on and going places here.
Going out there, setting little goals each day to achieve your dreams, to achieve financial freedom, is what Andrew Tate has pushed and advocated for. And
promising people financial freedom, you know, I don't know if you've seen the adverts on YouTube. There's a lot of them. I maybe get more of them than you do because I'm maybe the target audience more, but you'll see some young lad in a Lamborghini and he'll say, you know, I got this car by renting out houses and I didn't even have to own the properties, and I'll tell you the secrets of how you can be a property millionaire. Or some guy and he's like, oh, I've just got out from my pool and I do this swim every morning before I do some trading, and these 1 hour day trading can earn me enough money to live a wonderful life, and I'll teach you the secrets. And like, it's all that bollocks, you know.
Now, me longing for a good body and longing for muscles.
And maybe, again, well, maybe, you know, I don't know about this because I'm not saying I've always had a good body. My body's probably at the most out of shape it's ever been. But from young age at school, I was trained, like from about 11, I was training regularly. So not big heavy weight training, but sport training regularly. So I've never had anything but an athletic physique. So I wouldn't have been like proud and looking in the mirror and doing my buff muscles, but like just my, you know, my Arnold's body. You've seen that picture of me in the mirror, haven't you, at the Arnold's festival? Like, I've just been, like, I guess, not blessed with it, and I didn't work for it. I worked for the pursuit of achievement in sport, but as a byproduct, you know, I was quite healthy.
You can want them as much as you want. There's a famous line from the song Always Wear Sunscreen. Worrying is like trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. Worry.
But also, we've all got different physiques, and like, if you're going to sit there and say, I'm going to do 1 million press-ups and then I'm going to look like the body I want, that might not be true, because someone like Andrew Tate, I would guess, has used artificial means to achieve his physique. Like, it's very unlikely that he has not used some sort of steroid, isn't it? So, like, you know, get real.
Is going to do nothing. Whatever will be, will be. And I'm going to apply that same sort of phrase, if you will, to if you want a better body and you want muscles, you need to do your press-ups. You need to go to the gym. You need to add discipline into your life. When you wake up in the morning, before you've had your breakfast, before you've had your cup of tea, before you've had your cup of coffee, do 100 press-ups. Get the blood pumping.
Listen, my gym coach when I was at school said, when you get up, do as many press-ups as you can and count them, and then come in today and tell, you know, a gym class. And we all came in with our number of how many press-ups we could do. And then he said, right, tomorrow do 1 more press-up. And then the next day, do 1 more press-up. And keep doing that until you can do 100 press-ups. And like, that was the lesson when I was 11 years old. And if you want to do that, you can. If you don't, you don't. But that was the suggestion back then. We've all done PE at school. None of us need to be told how to fucking do press-ups so that we're not fat. But it's not that simple, is it? It's a much more complex thing. But if you want to boil it down to that simple thing, well done. Andrew Tate didn't need to teach you that. Andrew Tate's not special. This is just facile.
And then have your cup of tea as a reward. Later on, when you're about to have some food, do another 100 press-ups.
And I don't think Andrew Tate does hundreds and hundreds of press-ups. I just honestly don't. I think that he does a bit of stuff, or has. I mean, he's been a kickboxer, so like myself, like, I think he's been involved in sport, and that's kept him fit. And along the way, he's probably taken some steroids. I just don't think he's doing millions of press-ups. I think he's telling you to do it like he's got the magic secret, because he knows that the average person simply won't be able to verify whether 100 press-ups will or won't make them fit, because they're not really doing them.
A, you'll enjoy the food more because you need the energy. But B,
you'll be knackered.
You've earned
arms.
It. Andrew Tate is a very, very smart, very intelligent man.
No, he's not.
That speaks a lot of wisdom. And I think he genuinely, really, really wants to help men.
I thought he genuinely just wanted to be rich and sustain his own extravagant, boorish and misogynistic lifestyle. Become like a social media influencer. At the moment, he generally doesn't want to get raped to death in Romanian prison, does he? Generally. He's just generally.
Men are the most vulnerable to suicide. There's a lot of men that have turned to suicide for various reasons. Andrew Tate told a story about how he got an email sent to him about a suicidal man. Andrew Tate said, right, stop. Before you do that...
Yeah, Andrew Tate got this email, yeah.
I want you to get a six-pack. Then come back to me.
You should work for Samaritans.
Don't kill yourself. Get a six-pack.
Don't kill yourself.
Then come back to me.
Get a six-pack.
This man went to the gym. This man got himself a six-pack. Came back to Andrew Tate. I can't believe I wanted to kill myself.
Turns out it works.
Now hearing that story, how many men do you think have thought, well, I feel suicidal. My mental health is all over the show. I'll go and get myself a six-pack. They go and do it.
Not
then they
many.
get into the routine of going to the gym.
I don't think that many people who are legitimately at that fractured point of this mental health spectrum, that they can just say, I'm going to go to the gym today, and from now on I'm going until I get a six-pack and everything is fine. I honestly, I think if you did a statistical analysis of how many, like if you did it as a sort of study, you know, one half of the group we'll call control group. No, we'll have three groups, won't we? The first group we'll call control group, and we won't offer them anything. They'll just be unhappy and sad, and we'll just see how they go. The second group we'll call, I don't know, current standard of mental health service in the NHS. We'll make them wait for 6 months before they can see someone. I'm joking, but it's the truth. But the second group we'll call, mental health support group, and we'll give them mental health support, maybe medication. Then the third group we'll call the the Andrew Tate Break the Ice group, and them we will give them a subscription to the gym. They only have to pay for the gym. I'll sign them up. They get it for free. Free tennis racket as well. David Lloyd, the whole shebang. And then we'll come back in 6 months and we'll just see how everyone's doing. My money is not on the Andrew Tate technique to pay off, because if it did, maybe the government shouldn't be wasting all their money on mental health services and instead just be setting up David Lloyd gym subscriptions for anyone who's sad. Like, everyone who's sad, you get a free David Lloyd from now on. If you go to your doctor and you explain, and if you tick enough boxes, you get a free gym membership. You're away. Life is good again. Save money on the medication. You don't need those antidepressants anymore. I've got you in at David Lloyd. Come back to me when you've got a six-pack. Which, depending on your current physique, will be different amount of times. What if you're already... Hang on, wait. What if you've already got a six-pack? What then? What if you're already physically quite fit? What then? How are we going to help those people? Like, former footballers commit suicide. That can't be right, can it? Former footballers can't commit suicide because they're quite fit and they've got six-packs. A young footballer, no, that can't be the case because they're quite fit and they've got six-packs. So that can't be happening. I mean, you'd almost think, do you remember Gary Speed? Bless him. Gary Speed, If only he could have had more of a six-pack, then maybe he wouldn't have killed himself.
Into the routine of exercise, they understand that exercise in the gym releases endorphins, makes you feel better about life. You get addicted to going to the gym. Andrew Tate has influenced that. Getting the better body. Feeling
He's influenced you.
good about yourself. Andrew Tate has influenced that. Sitting playing games all day on an Xbox. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Hello. Welcome to YouTube, where the biggest streamers and content creators are in the field of gaming. Have you heard of PewDiePie? Welcome to the internet, where the biggest medium is gaming, and the gaming industry makes more money than the film industry. You know that like you've got Manchester United on your hat. You know they've got like a gaming team as well, where they pay people to play computer games professionally for Man United. You know they've got an esports team, yeah? Are you aware of that? Hang on. Maybe YouTube will do it. Man United UTD esports. Man United esports. eFootball Championship. Yeah, this is it, isn't it? This is eFootball. Yeah.
Look at the form, of course. Franquinho undefeated in this.
And like this lad down here with the Arsenal kit on is paid by Arsenal Football Club to play for Arsenal at esports. Like Manchester United employ people to play computer games. Yeah? So, how on earth do you think that Andrew Tate's preaching? What's going on?
Andrew Tate has influenced that. Sitting playing games all day on an Xbox. That's not going to get you anywhere.
It's a choice.
In terms of
it's a choice.
Career.
You can get fucked. You know Asmongold, the most like. Do you know how rich Asmongold is? Like Asmongold, like this guy knows nothing. Literally knows nothing. Do you know how rich Asmongold is? Asmongold net worth. Approximately $2 to $5 million net worth valuation. Asmongold, right? $2 to $5 million.
Hello, everyone. Heard a lot of people saying that I exaggerate things. I, make things more than what they are, and that's true. But not in terms of my room. A lot of people think that it's actually not as bad as it is, and I'm probably gonna clean it today. But I don't want to lose the memory. And so, got 3 drinks here. This is McDonald's, Long John Silver's. Fuck is that? Whataburger, Taco Bell, shoes. That thing I found in the street. That's my bed. Wendy's. Just, yeah. I don't even remember when I had that.
He wasn't a millionaire at this point, but his life has not changed dramatically since becoming a millionaire. He still lives in there. He still streams from the same bedroom, and it's still got shit everywhere. It's just that now he's a millionaire because he spent fucking all day playing computer games. So there's takes all sorts in this life, and whatever your passion is, whatever you're enthused about. Some people might say video games save their life. There's video games like that deal with the subjects like we were dealing with there with the Andrew Tate thing, and there's video games that can get you fit. You can't write off the entirety of gaming culture because Andrew Tate said so, you giant cock.
Finances. My personal aim is I want to be able to put my finger on a map and go, right, I'm going there. But the only way I can do that is by having the financial freedom to do so.
Or a bus pass. I mean, it depends how big your map is. I can do that at any point right now. It doesn't take that much money to put your finger on the map and want to go there. Like, it depends how long you want to go there for and what you want to do there. But actually, we're all quite capable of doing that. Like, you'd be amazed at how resilient humans are with just a little bit of money in their pocket to turn up somewhere and say, right, I mean, I might not have a lot of money for this month's rent, but if I get a job, then I'm going to be able to take that piece of paper that says I've got a job to whatever place and get my first little, startup room in and get going. Like, so many people have to deal with that. That's life for so many people, isn't it? And if you want to do something like that, it's balls. Like, one of my mates went bankrupt, I think he went bankrupt, and then he went to another country and just went and decided to live there, like start up a new life. Like, it can be done even with nothing. I think it's almost like you're saying, I can't do these things until I followed the Andrew Tate method and got really rich. And it's like some sort of barrier between me and the rich people. And the rich people have got what I want, and I've got to get rich first, and then I can start having what I want and doing what I want. And that's purebred capitalist free market economics, Keynesian, Randian, Thatcherite, economics. It's like admitting that society has failed us because you don't seem to have opportunities unless you're rich. So better get rich first if you want opportunities. The actual truth of the matter is that you can do things that you want with smaller amounts of money than you expect. And as much as I'm arguing the free market and the capitalists, I started out with a pair of scissors and people telling me I wasn't good enough as a hairdresser to cut hair because I'm a boy and I've never done it before, and I'm stupid, shouldn't do that, you're a stupid boy. Being on a roofing van, like going into work at 6 a.m. as a roofer, and then on the roofing van saying to people, do you want to have your hair cut because I want to practice cutting hair at lunchtime, and like having the piss taken out of me while I cut a roofer's hair on the back of a van. And like, it sounds, I'm not some sort of, had to come up from the gutter. I had a lot of luxury, somewhere to live, like places to help me learn to be a hairdresser that I could go and work at. But I turned myself into a self-made business owner with my own salon by simply persistently turning up and learning and getting through it. And I had to go for £100 a week as a trainee apprentice, which is a scam. I got him, people get free labour for £100 a week, and you get to learn to be a hairdresser. Right? But I did that, I did all that, and eventually, the hard work and persistence does pay off. But it's not something that Andrew Tate needed to teach me. It's the economic system. And it seems like weird that, I suppose, one of the things I find so strange about Andrew Tate's appeal to these people is, didn't you know this stuff? Did you need Andrew Tate to sort of wrap it up for you and package it for you? And like, maybe you didn't pay attention at school in certain lessons like economics, sociology, psychology would have been a good one with Andrew Tate. History as well would be interesting. Like, all these things were actually available to you through the free education system. Like, in fact, they quite encourage you to get a job and work hard and get up in the morning and do press-ups and stuff. Like,
so listening to a lot of Andrew Tate's advice, if you want something...
I'll tell you what they don't encourage you to do is get a load of women to work in a call centre for sex operations and then make them stay there by taking away their liberties and freedoms and basically being a misogynistic arsehole and pretending that you're making money because you're a big YouTube celebrity, but actually you're grifting off the graft of sex workers that you've trapped in a Romanian prison.
Get up and go and do it. I started my YouTube journey. I started making content.
Yeah.
I keep pushing at it daily. I keep making contacts. I keep sending emails. I write goals down. Andrew Tate's helped with that. We need more people like Andrew Tate. Like I said already, some of the things that he says are ridiculous.
Oosh.
But you're not going
to specify which and what. I don't argue that, you know, doing those things is good, and I don't argue that Luke can't be successful on YouTube. Obviously, I'm going to give him the lickings of a dog, but there are people out there, like even Alan has got supporters with his racism. Like, Luke's politics don't align with mine, but it doesn't mean that he can't, you know, he's made the networking connection with Peter Folding, hasn't he? And that's gone well for him. So I'm not saying that this man can't be successful, and there's enough space in the world for everyone to live. So, you know, and these attitudes actually go quite in line with the world that, you know, the Boris Johnsons have built us. So, you know, he might reasonably achieve some success, but it doesn't mean he's a good person and that he's deserved and he's a nice man for learning that he should be selfish or to tidy his bedroom. I don't know. I just don't get a good vibe off it at all. You know that, because I keep saying it, but yeah.
Going to agree with everything anyone says. And to be honest with you, he's absolutely gigantic on social media. And he's
social media. But it's not that you don't have to agree with everything. I know people hate it when I keep stopping things all the time, but you don't have to agree with everything people say. But if they've said a couple of things that are well out of order, then that's them fucked off. It's like, you know, I don't agree with everything O.J. Simpson did. Obviously, I don't think it was good when he killed his wife. But other than that, he's quite a nice guy, and I like to do the press-ups and practice the same throwing routine that he used to. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can't have, like, my icon is a great man, but has done a couple of shady things and a couple of shitty things, but he's pretty much a great man and someone that I should trust. You know, we're talking about trust issues again with this guy, aren't we?
Mastermind, he's done that. So many more men are going to the gym. So many more men are being more disciplined.
How do you know that?
So many more men are being motivated to reach their goals. If you want to be a millionaire, or if you want financial freedom, you need to get up, set goals, and chase them.
Or you could work through the night. I mean, there's choices.
Work for it. That's the only way you're going to get there. If some people are happy...
But if that isn't... Look, we all agree that you have to work to get what you want. And it's facile and it's banal. So stop saying it over and over again. If you've got something actually that you think Andrew Tate has taught you that's more important, can you please enlighten us? Because if it is simply, I need to do press-ups to have good press-up muscles, and I have to work to get what I want, then welcome to fucking grade 1 business school. Room 1, did you bring a pen? Write this down. You have to do some work. Right, are you ready? Let's go on to chapter 2. Price elasticity and demand. Are you ready for that? No. Okay, back to chapter 1. You're going to have to do some work here.
Living from paycheck to paycheck, if they're happy, just having enough money to get by, fair play. That's brilliant. That's a lovely, nice way to live. If you're happy with that, you know, that quiet sort of, you know, I've got enough to get by, I can feed the kids, we can go on a holiday a year. That's fine. That's beautiful. But a lot of people want a lot more than that. And I'm one of them. I'm not striving to have hundreds of millions in the bank. But what I am striving for is financial freedom, inner peace, happiness, confidence. I've always had confidence, but certain parts of life, it does dip. Andrew Tate has said that he actually doesn't believe in depression, which is quite a... You know, it's a controversial thing to say because...
Controversial not to believe in depression, yeah. And also quite controversial to outwardly state that you want more than the average person should have any, like, real, like, legitimate cause to expect in their life, you know, that you want that extra echelon of what you might call the elite level. Maybe you've watched too much television or seen too much Instagram, but you want to be careful to temper your expectations. Of course, work really hard and have goals and aspirations, but it's also kind of rude to a lot of people who live a normal sort of life to say, yeah, that's great for you, but not for me. And I know I sort of sound like a hater who's putting that, oh, well, Elon Musk thought that and he scraped those people off and became a million billionaire. But like, I actually know a couple of friends, I say friends, people I know who are much more like that, and they're not really that friendly because, like, when it comes to it, they will take the lion's share for themselves every time, and you can sort of trust them to do that. So, like, they're not really nice people. And welcome to 2023. We've done the 80s. We've had the 80s. Like, this is not the current economic climate to even be engaging in that sort of like aggressive economic attitude, is it? But like, I don't know. it feels like people don't know their history properly and don't know their social economic theory, and like are being misguided by someone who at least has learned how to manipulate them. Like Andrew Tate gets rich off this guy talking about him on the internet more than this guy's going to get rich off talking about Andrew Tate, if you know what I mean.
I know a lot of people with depression. I know people that have committed suicide, and
Should have got a
as I've
six-pack.
gotten older, I've seen that more and more people have issues. A lot of people think in life that they're the only ones that have got all these issues, but there's a famous saying that if everybody threw their issues into a pile, you'd quickly go and grab your issues back. So Andrew Tate saying that he doesn't believe in depression.
I think that expression means like if you could take someone else's issues, you'd think, oh, I don't want someone else's issues, then they're awful, I'd rather have my old issues back. I think that's the concept thing.
That can be turned into a good thing. So Andrew Tate saying that he doesn't believe in depression, that can be turned into a good thing.
Oh, God.
Because those that do have it, those that are clinically depressed, they can say, maybe I'm not depressed. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I should go to the gym like Andrew Tate does. Maybe I should get up early and do my press-ups before I have my coffee. Even if he's totally wrong that depression isn't a real thing, that doesn't mean that can't be turned into a good thing. He talked about confidence with women.
Well, okay, so before we get on to confidence with women, even if he's wrong about clinical depression, dangerously wrong, foolishly wrong, even if he's wrong, we can turn it into a good thing. But why would we need to? In order to legitimise your idol, the man that you're saying is this great thinker, in order to legitimise him and sort of pass off his ills, we'll sort of turn his bad points into good points. You know, we didn't have to. I use the analogy of Hitler. Maybe that's banal to use the analogy of Hitler, but like, you know, maybe I should pick a different fascist dictator. You know, Hitler did some bad things, but we can turn them into good things. But like, we don't have to, because they're bad people. So fuck them. Like,
He's talked about how you need to be respected by women, and you do.
do you?
You do need to be respected by
Need
women.
to be, or should humans respect each other? And how would you gain that respect? It's a lot like trust, isn't it? It's kind of given implicitly because the people that you're around are good people who respect others, or some people say it's like earned in some way, insofar as you don't respect anybody until they prove themselves to you, and then they're worthy of your respect. Different approaches, different attitudes, and what you're doing here on this video makes me respect you less. So you've lost me.
If you're not respected by a woman, you ain't going to get very far with them. You might be with them for a little bit.
I mean, there's all sorts of different women who have lots of different opinions, and some women might respect a man who cries, and other women might respect a man who doesn't cry for whatever reasons, in whatever circumstance. Like, you could have the same man perform two different actions and have two different groups of women be both happy and sad. It's different strokes for different folks in that way, isn't it? But I really don't like the idea that we can in some way make women respect us. I don't know where this is going really myself, but
You do need to be respected by women. If
no,
you're not
I don't. I'm stopping it so much, aren't I? But like, I don't need to be respected by women. Like, I am myself and who I am, and my self-respect is what's important, really, isn't it? And if I've got that and I know who I am inside, then women will come and go, and some will respect me and some maybe disrespect me. But it doesn't hurt me or matter to me, because I am myself and I have my self-respect. Like, this is preaching the idea that you are valued if you can create respect. If you can create respect in women, you have inner value. But without that, how are you going to get that? How are you going to know that you have value? Well, I'm going to make some women respect me, and then I can prove to myself and to others that I have value because women respect me. And it's this man that Andrew Tate going around with his muscles and his money that has women around him that he can literally pay to be in the pictures, that makes you think that if you've got what he's got, you can get laid because you ain't getting laid with your hat and your, you know, whatever. Like, it's an illusion.
Respected by a woman.
And it's misogyny.
You do need to be respected by women. If you're not respected by a woman, you ain't going to get very far with them. You might be with them for a little bit, but if they don't respect you, eventually they're going to leave you. And who's going to be heartbroken? You. Andrew Tate talks about...
Well, that's the women thing covered there nicely then. So make sure they respect you, because otherwise you're going to be heartbroken when they leave you. It's very, you know, I know a song about this.
Having respect for yourself. Not taking disrespect.
Not taking disrespect.
About...
What do you mean not taking disrespect? Like, if someone's going to disrespect you, then you have lost their respect. Like, that's, in that respect is earned and won playing field. If someone is disrespecting you, then they do not respect you. So it's not like how you can take it or not. Like, it's there. They don't respect you. Like with this, like, I don't expect. I mean, maybe he'll make a video response. I don't know if this is going to end up on YouTube or not. I just had to get it off my chest, you know. But maybe he'll make a video response. Maybe he won't take the disrespect. The disrespect is implicit in what I'm saying. I don't respect him. So he can't force me to respect him by not taking it and making this happen and doing that. Like, it's who you are and what you're doing. It's your actions, your behaviours. Like, I'm not going to take that disrespect. In fact, I'll give it you back and we'll have a big fight. Like, I don't like where that goes either. So what happens if a woman doesn't respect you then and you don't take it? What are you going to do?
How to be a gentleman.
How to be a gentleman now. It's about a gentleman. So in some way, dominating the situation makes you a gentleman. And it's not just about opening the door for a lady, and, you know, there's other aspects of it that include male dominance, and that's what being a gentleman is. And we're going to define what being a gentleman is by some sort of Victorian standard. Ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous and very misogynistic. And there are times, of course, when I will open the door for a lady, or, you know, don't worry about that, I've got the bill, or stuff like that, because I have a bit of a traditional sense of male role in society from my father, my grandfather, you know, stuff like that. Of course, like, you know, I'm not alien to our society, but at the same time, like, let's not live in the fucking 1920s here. Let's not talk shit. Let's not talk shit. Who knows what a true gent is? Like, certainly the man who wants more for himself than just the average person got. This is the real gentleman, isn't it? This man's the real gentleman. Go to the gym, get a six-pack. That's the real gentleman. Like, I mean, a gentleman as well is a term of, it's like a social status thing, right? So you're going to say, because I like kickboxing and football and pool, and I'll go to the pub and then she's got the dinner on, and I'll also pay for the thing and hold the door open, and I've got my parameters of what a gentleman is. That's that then. Okay, fair enough. But doesn't a gentleman also have to play an instrument? You know, like in Anchorman, there's like that scene where he plays the flute, and it's a joke, isn't it? But, you know, he's a fine gentleman. He's got many leather-bound books. Do you have to have many leather-bound books? Do you have to have read the books, or do you just have to own the leather-bound books? Because this is the world we're in now, of defining masculinity and gentlemanly conduct. You know, it's not just like being a sportsman. I'm a fine gentleman sportsman. Do you have to have learned a sport and have a sporting discipline? Or does a gentleman shoot of a weekend with pheasants and, you know, the shooting like party? You know what I'm saying? What definition of being a fine country gentleman should you encapsulate? Do you own a barber coat or like a Land Rover? At what point, where is the line of what's a real gentleman defined, and how can you fucking claim it? It seems ridiculous. I think it's pathetic.
Again.
And I think what it is it's a sign of toxic and scared little masculinity that is scared of their own position, and so has to sort of reassert it in society. Oh, these women have got out of control. Look, this is what men do, and this is what men are for. We have got a use.
Also said things about how you own your wife, which I don't agree with that. He's also said things about how you own your wife, which I don't agree with that.
Well, I'm glad you specified that one, because that was fucking awful misogyny that Andrew Tate said, wasn't it, about owning your wife? Yeah. But I'm glad you don't agree with that. So there's little bits here and there that we're just going to say, we'll have that and we'll take that out. Obviously, my my wonderful dinner today has got a few, dog turds on the plate, but I'm going to just scrape them off and then get rid of them, and I'll eat the dinner, yum yum. Like, come on. The man's an arse. You own your wife. Obviously, he said that, but that's fine. We'll ignore that and just keep on the road to success with our six-pack.
He's made himself gigantic on the social media scene. Has he gone too big? Has he gone a little bit too influential?
I don't think he's that influential. I think he managed to get on some things like Piers Morgan and stuff like that, because he preaches the rhetoric of the right wing sometimes, and that helps them, like, even though they hold him up as a bit of a puppet fool, just a bit like you. The issue with him getting big on social media as well is that, just like his kickboxing and physique, like, steroids may have enhanced it. So social media is quite an elusive beast, isn't it? And you don't know exactly just how big he paid to get and how much of that has made him money. And it's a strange animal, social media. So I wouldn't trust simply because I'm a bit like Armchair Detective, isn't it? Like, because someone's got 1 million views, definitely influential. Then, like, I think you just want to be careful about making heroes out of social media icons who are slightly shady, shall we say, in some of their standard business practices in other ways. Surely. I can see why people follow Joe Rogan and like Joe Rogan, because he has legit made it. Even if he's not actually funny, he knows how to put the funny bricks together in the right order and create a funny structure, so it comes across like he's doing comedy. But he's not got a funny bone in his body, the poor man. And he's had a lot of idiots on his show. But through his access to UFC fighters and comedians and his position as an LA podcaster, he's influenced a lot of people, yeah. Like, you can't argue Joe Rogan hasn't got to the top of the mountain, even if he is a bit of a dunce. Everyone can look to him and say, well, even if I'm a dunce, I can do it. Like, get me a six-pack. But not Andrew Tate. No.
Why he's inside a prison cell with his brother.
Prison cell.
Are they influencing too many men?
No, they were running a fucking Romanian prostitution ring.
Powers that be scared that Andrew Tate and his brother are influencing men to be strong, to think for themselves.
No, because those men that are strong and think for themselves don't actually think for themselves and are just waiting to be mobilised by the fascist right wing. And they're the people that end up on the streets doing the anti... they're the next Britain First crew.
To have goals, to be motivated, to be entrepreneurial.
To
make big money, to chase dreams down. The more strong, powerful men in the world, do the powers that be want that?
Yeah, because they motivate them to, like, they use them to fight wars and create social problems. Like, yeah, that's the mechanism of the fascist right wing. Motivated, angry young men. Like, well done. Wake up and smell the coffee. How do you think they get these things done?
Or do they want a society of followers, of sheeps?
That's what sheep, singular, and plural, turns out. Although if you've got different breeds of sheep, you could say sheeps. Lots of different breeds of sheep, you would say they're all lots of sheeps. There's different kinds of sheep. But if they're all the same breed and you've got a lot of them, I've got 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 4 sheep. There's many sheep. It's a singular and a plural. I've got 1 yowling cat that won't come and have a cuddle, but it will yowl and yowl.
Of people that just live paycheck to paycheck.
Like, that's what you are if you're following Andrew Tate. He's trying to encourage you into that whole, like, follow someone on the internet and believe in them and, like, put your destiny in the hands of, a fake fake intellectual. Like, you're the next sucker. You're the continual sucker. And I trust you. Right? Trust me. It won't be that in 20 years' time you're still talking about Andrew Tate and what he's doing for you. Like, it won't be. There'll be a new leader. There'll be a new idea. There'll be a new thing to pin your hopes on. Come on.
Because a lot of people are starting to break out of that now. Andrew Tate talks about the Matrix.
Oh, God.
It's almost like we're designed to stay poor. The system wants us to be poor.
Well, yeah.
Andrew Tate talks
it doesn't
about
just want
breaking
you to be poor. It forces you to remain in the poverty trap. It forces you. Like, you're not going to gain generational wealth by listening to Andrew Tate, are you? Like, there are fortunate people who do. I don't know. For example, Anthony Joshua can gain generational wealth through boxing, but his parents didn't give him that. He was gifted with genetics and took a load of steroids. It's like, come on. Education is the key. Education. That's the key. That's why university should be free. It's why people shouldn't be burdened with student debts. Education, and it's why we should be putting more money into education. And on top of that, kids can't get educated if they turn up at school tired, angry, confused, embittered by the poverty trap around them in their social environment. So it's not a one-stop and a Ladbrokes and a fucking, Coral Bookmakers up the road that I want, and a pub and a boozer. And a fish and chip shop to make sure you've got something to eat on the way home. It's a community centre and a football pitch and activities and social cohesion measures and giving people more than just the dog's fucking dinner to survive on when they're in difficult times. Having a more substantial benefit system actually leads to people having better chances to make good life decisions, so they're not struggling as on the poverty trap, and the kids are able to get good educations, and it turns into a much, much better set of opportunities for those children and society. And then you can have the opportunity to do what you want. Like, listening to Andrew Tate isn't going to get you GCSEs and a degree and give you the opportunity to have a better shot in the job market, is it? Like, and maybe those chances have passed some people by, and maybe that's sad, but really, this is handing off if we're to say, what should we do for the next 10, 20 years, right, to make this society better, is we should have more people like Andrew Tate, and we should have Andrew Tate talking more and put him in front of more people. That's to say that we will accept that society has failed its children and that Andrew Tate has risen as leader, because we have literally not funded social services, not social services, but, social activities, schools, public services enough that they are turning to Andrew Tate in their desperation.
Out of that, who wants to worry about money? It's one of the biggest causes of anxiety, I think. I want the good body. I want the good mental health.
Money won't fix your body, and it won't fix your mental health. But I think it was Norway, they picked a town, just one town, city or whatever, and they trialled a living wage, as in they give you £200 a week or whatever it was, £300 a week. They just give it you, everyone. And you'd think that would crash the economy and ruin everything, but it didn't. And a lot of people were much, much happier. And you know what? It turned out, okay, some people didn't bother going into work, but it turned out the majority of people still went in for their jobs and wanted that extra money, because you can get more money by going to work than just the basic. But I think it was £300 or £600 a week. It was enough money for you to live on, pay your rent, pay your heating and eat. So if you want, you could just sit at home and do nothing. Like, you can just exist on that money. But it turned out the majority of people in their society wanted to carry on going to work and engaging with society and doing things. So they were carrying on, they were doing that. But there were also people who used to do jobs that were just at the bottom end, that were really not very nice jobs. And those people said, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore. So no, I'm not going to. And what the living wage did is it caused a problem in one area of the economy there, where they had to extrapolate this. It was an experiment. So it will cause, if you give everyone free money, then some of the shittiest jobs aren't going to get done. So there's an issue, and what that highlights is that there are some jobs that are just really bad, and we shouldn't really be asking people to do them, because the money they're doing them for isn't much better than the free money. It's just that they don't have a choice. And we need to find better solutions to those jobs, because they're fucking awful. But in the main, people would just still go to work. Most people would still. It's not completely communist. It's in today's day and age, you can't say communism because it, a failed thing and all this. But a more modern socialism, it can work. And you consider that, like, the North Sea oil makes enough money, and they just pump it out the sea, and then they just take it privately and sell it and have the money. But it's just like, comes out the sea, off the North Sea of, like, it's like our national treasure that we all share. And instead of all sharing from the benefit, we get the tax off it. But why don't we just nationalise these industries, and then we'd have fucking loads of money to put into the system? It's not the system. They would rather you go out like Andrew Tate and pay for your gym membership and work really hard at McDonald's to become the manager. Like, fuck McDonald's off if you want, and work really hard at something else to be the manager of that. Just as long as you're working really fucking hard, like he says, not being turned into a drone worker, but obviously committing to and working really hard within the confines of the economy, then you're going to pay loads of tax and be a good worker anyway. So before you wouldn't even get out of bed and do your bedroom. So we weren't able to reach you with our education system and standard set of ethics and morals, but Andrew Tate seems to have got to you, so good on him. Right.
I want the financial
puppet of the right wing.
Freedom. I want to be able to talk to women and get their attention.
What?
I want to be respected.
I think that'll get their attention, mate.
Talk to women and get their attention. I want to be able to talk to women and get their attention.
Has anyone noticed that this guy is literally, hang on, like, I say these things and I joke, but have anyone noticed this guy's literally dressed like the man in black from the Nicola Bulley case? Like, is it possible that someone like this has gone and murdered Nicola Bulley just to create an internet storm? Like, he's in the area. He's from that neck of the woods.
I want to be respected. And I think a lot of men want these same things. Andrew Tate has influenced a lot of this. No matter what you think of him, I've been doing 160 press-ups a day.
Have you now? I thought you were doing 200 before, but anyway, I'm only, doesn't matter. I don't care how many press-ups you do. Go on, good on you for doing the press-ups. But Andrew Tate, I will not contest, has definitely influenced a load of people. I will agree with that. But then you're not sheeps, are you?
Since December. In fact, ironically enough.
And he's not your shepherd, no?
Since December.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. And every time I think of that now, I think of the Vicar of Dibley comedy TV series. So God's got contender on his hands here, because Dawn French is now forefront in my mind when it comes to my recital of Bible verse. So maybe that's what God wanted.
The 29th, I started doing 100. I'm now up to like 200 actually.
It was 200. I don't know if you heard me counting. I did over 1,000.
I do 4 sets of 50. That's Andrew Tate's influence. Started to be much more confident with women. That's because of Andrew Tate's influence. Started to take more pride in my appearance. That's Andrew Tate's influence.
Andrew Tate's great. I bet the women really enjoyed the fact that you are now more confident with them.
I have my own issues, my own things.
Do you?
Going on. Andrew Tate has helped me. He has actually genuinely helped me with my own issues. I take accountability for my life.
Now, this is kind of sad in a way, because I see someone who's obviously struggled with stuff, and it's ended up Andrew Tate's been the one to fill that vacuum, that void, and that's exactly what these people do. That's exactly what Jordan Peterson, these people do. That's exactly what, like, sign them up to hit the youth. People have a vacuum and a void, will prey on them. That's what predators do. You are the prey, and you have been predated on, and if you work hard enough, you might one day become a predator. It's just It's sad, isn't it, in a way? It's really sad, actually. Yeah, it's really sad.
I want a beautiful woman. Then I need to do the right things to get her.
Right, so you think you just say the right things in public to get her then, and act really noble on your streams, but is it who you really are inside, or is it just a way to get inside someone's pants?
He talks about how to be a high value man. Maybe a lot of guys didn't even think about this before Andrew Tate was on the scene. I've never even thought, putting myself in a woman's shoes, not that I could ever do that, because I don't have any woman's shoes, not at the moment. I've never really thought about what women sort of expect of a man.
Really? Well, there's your first problem then, yeah? You've never even thought what it might be like to be on the other end of your goings on. Like, you have no concept of empathy for women up until you've listened to Andrew Tate. I don't mean to... I don't want to say anything bad about the man's mother, but I think maybe he's had some sort of tragedy in his life where he's not been so connected with the women in his family. Because... What? I mean, listen, I've worked as a hairdresser. You know, I spent a lot of time around women. But also, my mother is one and my sister is one. Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
A lot of women want high value. I mean, it works both ways. If a woman wants a high value man, she needs to be a high value woman. I think that's fair to say, isn't it? And
depends on what your definitions of value are, and it seems like we're putting value on people, and therefore people are better than other people. I don't know what the measure... Again, I don't know what the measurement stick is and what the value scale is, but certainly now we decided that some people are better than others, and some people have more value. And I suppose if it's the six-pack that creates that value, or the amount of money you've got, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's your tenacity and your, patience and your ability to learn. Everyone's going to have different values, I suppose. That's an issue, isn't it? People are going to have different values because values are not all the same. But let's assume there is a set of values. If it's anything to do with how you look, all these things you were talking about before about getting a six-pack or... it was mainly getting a six-pack, wasn't it? But if it's all about that, then the minute you don't have a six-pack or something like that, then you immediately have no value. So I suppose your relationship is predicated on your perceptions of value. At least fulfilling this woman's perceptions of value. I suppose all relationships kind of are in a way, like if we admit it. Are they? I don't know. No, maybe not. I've been with people who I don't really think have such... Like, the value is I love them and, enjoy their company and the way they are and, who they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't present some sort of value proposition to me. Like, I can incorporate them into my business. They can make me money by holding a sign, or it's not about I think it's a bit... It's a really strange concept to me to be heard. I mean, I haven't listened to everything Andrew Tate said, but to hear it read back by this guy, it's like you've heard what the teacher said and the way the teacher said it, and then you've heard it boiled down to a very simple concept by the student. And I'm like, when I hear it like that, maybe we're in the wrong classroom, because this doesn't sound right, really. Or maybe it's me again. Maybe we're just different people. And some people are like, how can you say that, Scott? I expect as well, because this gets political in a way. Like everything, there'll be people if I release this on YouTube, will say, no, yeah, value's right, yeah, and I might be wrong, and I could be, I'd like to sit around the table and talk with the people about the concepts of value, high value, low value. I've certainly heard the phrase high maintenance before, and that's something I kind of stay away from as well.
I mean, it works both ways. If a woman wants a high value man, she needs to be a high value woman. I think that's fair to say, isn't it? And he has spoken about being a high value man. Dressing sharp.
So the way you dress, so that's a... Number one, you're not dressed sharp, so you're fucked, right? And number two, no. Dress is colloquial, fashion, tradition, context. It's completely context specific. Like, you don't want to be waking up in the morning and saying, right, I'm going to put my suit on because we're going to lounge around it's Sunday, we're going to lounge around in the lounge and watch some movies. I'm going to make some breakfast. I'll make sure I put my sharp suit on. Like, I've just had a bath. Where's my bathrobe with the leather pocket? Like, get off. Like, looking sharp is not the most important value in a man, and it's not even, like, it shouldn't be on your top. Oh dear. That's predicated on image as well, isn't it? It's all presentation and image, and this is what you've fallen for. Do you like Andrew Tate quite a lot? Do you like his muscles and you think he looks really sharp? Are you not having enough sex? Are you watching too many Andrew Tate videos? Might want to introduce you to some videos with ladies in it instead. You might want to get in touch with some feminine energy, because it's going a bit weird, mate.
Working hard, achieving goals, making money.
Oh
not
yeah.
all about...
Listen, this is traditional values, isn't it? This is good old traditional values. But the problem with that is, like, we've moved on from it because of women's liberation, women's emancipation, the work of the feminist movement, and these people, like, you consider the people who still hold these opinions dear in the older generation, they're embittered and angry now that they are no longer able to wield their power by merit of simply being white and male. So they're angry about that, and the politics now is like, there's fewer and fewer of them. Like, okay, maybe it transcends gender, yeah, maybe even transcends gender, but I was going to say it transcends race. Maybe it's more of a social class thing, but I think it even transcends social class. But there's a sense of power and control that's being transmitted here. You too can have power and control over things that you wish you could have. Are you powerless about whether women want to have sex with you? Are you powerless to force them to respect you? Well, follow these simple rules and you too can force women to respect you, like some Scarface pimp. I just think it's, you know, I keep saying I just think it's, and you know, because you do know, and I can't keep repeating it. But
how much money you have, but it's that drive and desire to go after it and keep
I thought, you
working.
see, I said that. It wasn't going to be the amount of money, because that would be silly, wouldn't it? But it's the drive and desire to get it. You know, that fight in the dog. And, you know, some women like the guy who's prepared to have a fight and be demonstrative and difficult, right up to the point where it becomes socially difficult for them or privately difficult for them. And it's a bit too much and it's ruined their life and the lives of those around them. Like, you know, everyone's got different ideas and stuff. I don't adhere to this one. Drive and determination is important for different reasons to different people at different times. And you're saying that the people who are depressed, who don't have the six-pack, are actually without value. Because if they can't get themselves that six-pack and that drive and desire to go out and be a winner, then they are valueless. And that if you were born, I don't know, short or, you know, in some way impaired, then it doesn't matter about how much drive and desire you have, because you're never going to fucking win. So you don't have value either. You know, you can't get a six-pack about certain aspects of life, can you? Like it determines your value by this. Yeah, this is fucked. It's just fucked, isn't it? It's just fucked.
Never giving up. Being strong. Being a strong man, physically and mentally.
There you go, physically.
Having the right balance.
Now listen, I've spent a year and a bit in the company of the strongest man in the world, and I know how fucking confused Eddie will agree he was back then. He probably isn't as confused now. He's much more satisfied. He did become the strongest man in the world to get there. But along the way, there was some difficulty, some pain in his life, some personal battle that he felt he could only overcome by becoming literally the strongest man in the entire world. So toxic masculinity can lead you to some weird places, and strength and will are different from physical strength. You know, and strength and will can encourage you and create, you know, the physical strength bit with determination. I get it, but like, don't talk to me in these childish, facile ways. Like, I'm going to be a big army man, or I'm going to be a big, strong he-man, and then I'm the best man. Like, don't talk to me in these stupid ways.
With
Like, do you think Conor McGregor's the best one? But you think Conor McGregor's the best one. But Khabib schooled him.
young man, physically and mentally. Having the right balance with a woman. You know, being romantic and taking care of your woman. And at the same time, not being a pushover. Not being disrespected.
So again, that's about like dominance and position and old values, being romantic and taking care of her. What if a woman doesn't want you to take care of her in that? Like, what does it mean to take care of her? Do you mean financially? So most people will want you to give them money. So that's okay then, yeah. So you're saying if you give a woman some money, enough money, then she will be like, you know, basically obliged to be, to respect you. So if you can give a woman enough money, you can, and they'll say, yeah, look how, you know, rich people, look at, you know, Elon Musk getting to have sex with Amber Heard. Like, obviously, yeah, if you give a woman enough money, they will have sex with you. But like, I just don't think it's fair to sort of say, based upon a certain level of finance, I have earned the respect of women, therefore I am now have value. In fact, it's ridiculous. I can't keep ripping it apart so often because we'll never get to the end. But everything he says, he's like, this is like an Allen. I didn't expect it to be this bad. But everything he says, and maybe it's because I'm contentious and I'm trying to stand opposed. You know, it's a debate one-sided where you don't get to answer back. I'm only answering what you say. But I really feel like in a proper debate situation, I could take this to town. And I just think it's tired, foolish, 1940s toxic masculinity repackaged for 2023.
Having the right
TikTok. It's TikTok misogyny.
balance with a woman. You know, being romantic and taking care of your woman. And at the same time, not being a pushover. Not being disrespected. Andrew Tate has helped this. There is someone on social media who stood in the middle of a town centre or a city centre, and they say, they've got a microphone and people walk past, and they say, what do you think of Andrew Tate?
Cock.
And it's interesting.
Cock.
Because you get the spread of...
You see an edited version of what they decide to put out, and it's amongst a certain demographic at a certain time, and like, it's not the truth. It's a social media illusion. But go ahead.
The answers. There's a lot of women don't like him, can't stand him, hate him. And that's, you can understand with some of the things that he says. But there's also a percentage of women that really, really like Andrew Tate because they want men to be...
Listen, I used to go out with a woman who... I used to go out, this is the truth, and I'll just say it as it is. I used to go out with a woman who literally dumped me because she said I wasn't like, you know, a manly sort of man like she liked. And then previously had also had a manly sort of man as a boyfriend who beat her nearly half to death. So, like, maybe you just got to take the rough with the smooth. But I think bollocks. I think she was confused about what a man should be, and I really am a man. And like, my ability to cry in front of her, or one of the things we had a big sticking point on was we were watching a show called The Sopranos, right? And on The Sopranos there's strippers, and she said, oh, I bet you like those strippers, don't you, eh? Well, hey. And I said, actually, I'm watching Tony talk, and in the background there's a lady on a pole, and she happens to be naked, but she's got those big fake tits, and I'm not getting a woody on. I'm watching Tony talk on The Sopranos. Believe it or not, I'm not some fucking moose that can't, you know, there's some tits, aruga, now I must have the sex. Context is important. I'm a proper man. It doesn't mean that you can just wield your tits and therefore I'm like turn to jelly. And we had this, like, she was getting eggy about it, and I think she had been in a situation where she'd been like a hostess girl or something like that, or maybe even worked in a strip club, and I was sort of offending her by sort of saying that tits weren't the most important thing, because she had quite big fake tits herself, actually. So I think I touched a nerve there by mistake. She asked me a straight question, I gave her a straight answer, but she didn't like it. She thought it would have been better in our relationship if I was more of a bore and just more base in that way. So, like, you know, we didn't see eye to eye. We weren't going to end up being together long term, and that was that. I was a bit disappointed, but one of the disappointments I had was that, like I said, I thought her perception of what real masculinity should be was something that was actually a psychological problem she had because of problems in her life, instead of like what she really wanted was someone who was going to treat her badly to the point where it couldn't work as a relationship. So she would jump from relationship to relationship with people that inevitably treated her that badly that she ended up having to leave them, and most situations quite badly. Like, so I should have seen that pattern and thought, well, I'm not part of this pattern. Like, I shouldn't have even dated her really. But anyway, yeah, it's like, you know, I feel like I've been in a situation where that aspect of masculinity has been critiqued by the person that I was going out with, and I felt like, well, I don't want to go out with you. You're fucking stupid about this and you don't understand it properly, and you're passing up a really good thing, because the things you value in a man are actually not good values. So you're confused, and I don't know who confused you and how, but like, you might as well fucking date a cage fighter and have your head beaten off at random intervals, because that's what you want, apparently. As long as he's going to also be all these other things that a man is, like, I suppose you'll put up with some of that. I just thought, what the fuck? Like, you know, and maybe I'm not the biggest, tallest, biggest chuffer, so I should, you know, how can I speak in this? But, you know, I'll take that big, tall chuffer and I'll just fucking pull his legs from under him and fucking bang him. Like, you know, I can be a man, but like a man's man. Like, it's not that though, is it? It's about power, like control, and you can't discipline someone if you've lost your own discipline. Like, you know, I think I know more about discipline than this man from what he's saying about this on the internet.
Men, again, we live in this world,
and also
now where
that's not exclusive to men, and nor should it be. Like, discipline, control, taking care of people, like love, like, you know, that shouldn't be just the domain of men, should it? That's humanity. It's not like only men can be strong. Strong men, feeble women, me take you cave.
it's they, them.
Oh God.
Lots of genders.
I'm going to have to go to the toilet while he says this.
People get very easily offended. We're in a very woke world. If people want to identify as she, he, they, them, that's totally fine. If males want to dress up like females, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't affect my life. It doesn't really affect anybody's life. However, there's a lot of men that want to be stereotypical men. They want to take care of their woman. They want to provide. They want to be their protector. They want a good body. They want to be physically powerful. There's no power in sushi. There's a lot of people in this modern day in 2023 that want to be called them, or they identify as this, or they identify as that, or they identify as a plant pot. But there's a lot of men out there that want to be men of old. See, even me saying that's probably controversial. There's a lot of men that want to be men. Old school, they want the high value woman. They want to be a high value man.
We'll go and fucking live in Russia then, or somewhere like that. We'll go and live in fucking sorry, I should pick my countries carefully in the Middle East. You know, go and live in a country where women aren't allowed to vote. Go and do that then. But that's not our world, you fucking prick. And I understand, like, some women might like a guy with big muscles on a motorbike and, you know, get on the back, baby. I'm in charge of where we're going. But they don't want them to fucking be a boorish wanker who doesn't let them use the remote control and won't let them watch EastEnders. I want to be a stereotypical man, and I've got my funny ideas about what a stereotypical man is, and I'm defining it from now on. And that's what some men want to be. So because you want to be fucking Sam Smith and a ladyboy, then I can be a fucking boorish wanker. Yeah, fair enough, I suppose. You can. Go and find a woman who wants it. Good luck. This is 2023. You're in now a tiny minority, and people don't like this sort of bollocks. It's tired, it's boring. The strong, silent type, Clint Eastwood, yeah, okay, there's still good, honourable men. You see, the funny thing about this, don't you think the funny thing about this is why everyone wants to suck Peter Folding off? Is because Peter Folding is that man, and this is why you want to be him, because you're all pretending to be this action hero holding a baby coming out of a fire. Like, Peter Folding wants to be coming out of a fire or coming out of a river holding a baby rescued, like super, you know, on the calendar holding the baby rescued coming out of a fire. You're not that. You're pathetic people, really. Your bullies and sad people who have got chips on their shoulder and little willies, and you know, in the main, all these misogynists are fucking stupid bullies and pathetic, little-minded, small-minded people who are they're so scared of their own sense of self-worth being shattered by by a woman doing something. Katie Taylor being a really good boxer and headlining at the event instead of, you know, Anthony Joshua. What the fuck, the women boxing now? Like, you know, they're so scared of their own toxic masculinity and inner fears that they have to sort of stomp their dominance to prove it to themselves and other people in order to feel valued, that they can feel loved. Like, this is so fucking fucked. Welcome to 2023. TikTok misogyny.
You want to be able to take a beautiful woman on a date.
Yeah, I've done that fucking loads of times. I've done that so many times in my life I couldn't count. Like, I'm not boasting here, but I don't have a list of all the people I've had sex with that I can remember, because I've lost count. And that's not because Andrew Tate taught me to do that. It's because I treat people like lovely, wonderful human like entities, and like give them respect, and then you'll be surprised at what comes back. I just think you're just pathetic in saying I want to talk to a beautiful woman. Like, I wouldn't have ever said that on the internet, even if that's how you felt inside. I just think it's a little bit pathetic to say it on the internet like this. I just think it's just a little bit. I'm pausing it too much. I know, but I want to be able to talk to a beautiful woman. And I'm not boasting, but you can. Just go and do it. Like, how have you got this old at this age? I mean, I'm maybe a bit older than him, like, you know, Eddie's Varnabreak. I've been around a bit, but like, you know, you can do that all over the show if you want. Just go and do it. Didn't you like go to? What were you doing? Like you said, what are you doing with your life? If you're so desperate for doing that, just go and talk to beautiful women. One of them will put up with you after a while, I'm sure. Like, it's just a matter. Listen, it's just like a lottery. Like, you buy enough tickets, you'll eventually win a tenner. I promise you. I promise you, son. Like, just go up to people that you find attractive and say, "Hi, my name is, what's your name?" And then start asking, this is my good Scott Stop tips, start asking them questions and getting to know who they are. And then if you feel like things are going well and you like them and you've told them a few little jokes here and there, and you know, and they've asked you something, maybe, don't push it on them. Let them ask if they feel like it, and then give them honest answers. And use that to then ask another question about them. Always try and ask more questions about them, you know. And if it's going well, then say, maybe I could have your number and we could, you know, go do X, Y, Z. And if that goes well, you might get to have sex with them. Because believe it or not, women also like having sex and being a human being and going out places and meeting friends. So, you know, and if that goes well, you could consider a longer term relationship. Or you could say, that's gone well. Now that you've obviously seen my naked body, you're not going to want to meet me anymore. So on to the next one, I suppose. But like, you know, whatever. Like, it's just like, sorry, get on with it. Get on with it. Yeah, get on with it.
You want to be able to take a beautiful woman on a date and smash that credit card at the end and pay for the whole thing.
What? Credit card? No. You can do that now if you want. You see, like, this is how these people get in these problems. You can do that now. That's how you get in financial difficulties. What you want is to have earned the money so you don't have to worry about the credit card, so you can just pay for it. Or I'll tell you what's even better, mate, is cook it yourself with your own two hands by going out and killing a deer with a fucking rock and then putting it over the campfire like that. Do that. If you can't afford to take someone out for dinner, my dad did say this to me. My dad actually said this to me when I was younger, so there's a bit of an overlap here with some traditional values that I have to deal with, a part of my psyche. But my dad said, if you can't afford to take a girl out for dinner, then you can't go out for dinner with a nice girl, can you? Like, so you better fucking work, otherwise you're not going to be able to take a girl out to dinner. Like, it's that simple, isn't it? So I get it, but like, go and do a fucking week's work then. Like, it's not some special intrinsic value that you like. I know sometimes it's hard to get a job sometimes and this and that, but in general, do you know what I mean? I worked on the fucking roof and that was enough money to take a girl for dinner. Like, I didn't have to be some sort of special kickboxer elite. Things are tough these days, But I would warrant that working a normal job will warrant you enough money to ask someone to go out to Nando's or whatever. You don't like and wallop the credit card down at the end. And do we have to have pheasant? Quails? What were you saying in chat the other day? Was it you, Andy? I have quails or whatever. Do we have to have pheasant? You know, and then this is your problem with the girls you're dating, because they're not going to suck you off. They're just going to keep going out with you until you buy them a fucking solid gold hat or something. You're going to get money grubbed and gold dug by people who have equivalent values to you. If you've got a nice, I was going to say saucy bird then, but you know, if you've got a nice bird, got a nice girl, got someone falling into their trap of the misogyny. But if you've got a nice girl, you know, you can literally get sucked off for a fish and chips. Suck you off, look. They can get sucked at a kebab in chat there. Look, people like everyone likes kebabs. You know, I would balance, because this guy doesn't know, because he's saying he doesn't know. But I've been there. I've done the sex. I've had the pockets full of cash because I've done the hard work. I've not been rich and wonderful, but you know, at the end of a hard work at the hairdressing salon that had my own name on it, I've had the cash in my hand, and I've thought, well, and I've said, turned to the lady and said, would you like to go for dinner? Like maybe even a lady I've had, you know, cause to know through hairdressing or anything. I turned to a lady, maybe even gone to a pub and started drinking with one and said, hey, would you like to go for a nice dinner? And quite often they'll say, well, yeah, nice dinner sounds nice, actually. Where should we go? I'll let you choose. There's a lot of nice restaurants. Let's go for a nice dinner. And that can vary. But there's also times where I've not had to have the nice dinner. Dinner has not been even, I mean, there was one girl I had sex with after a funeral. Well, that's chuffing, like the dinner was laid on. Little vol au vents and little, you know, cheese on a stick and not hot dogs, sausage rolls. You know, I didn't have to pay for any of that. Still got to have sex. So I don't think it's predicated on that. But I know what you mean. I do know what he means. And it is nice. I have enjoyed that myself, being able to go somewhere on a date and say, don't worry, I've got that. Let's have a nice evening. And at the end, you get a little bit of a sense of self-satisfaction in a way, don't you? Of like, you know, well, there you go, lady. And like, then you can storm into the bedroom full of beans because you're the big man and it's giving you that boost. I see what you're saying. But like, don't worry about it. If you can't afford the credit card big meal, we can still get you laid and you can still feel good about yourself. Maybe that's the message we need to be teaching people, because otherwise they're going to be committing suicide if they can't get a credit line. I don't know. It seems well fucked, doesn't it? Mind you, you know, if they are taking you to KFC, then they're not going to get the suck, are they? Just leave it at that. KFC's alright, I suppose. Should there be like a hierarchy of restaurant where you get more sexual favour dependent on how expensive the meal? Like if you go to a Michelin starred place, you're doing anal, you're getting the kiss, you're doing. If you go to if you go Michelin star, I expect Nicole Kessinger brown bikini ladies. I want a threesome with Nicole Kessinger and the anal. We had 5 courses taster menu tonight, love. Heston Blumenthal, Gordon Ramsay shit. You're going to be taking it. You're going to be fucking taking it tonight. I don't care what it feels like, to be honest, at your end. You're taking it. I've paid for dinner. You're getting the anal. Or like, you know, we just did the McDonald's drive-thru on the way home, so all I'm getting is my nipples flicked while I jerk it into a towel. Right, do you know what I mean? Is there a hierarchy of where you take someone for dinner, how expensive it is, how much you spend, and how much sex you get afterwards? I wish it were. Well, in some ways, there is a sort of social trap where people think there is, because you look at someone like, you know, I don't know, like Mark Zuckerberg with his wonderful family and life, and think, how did he ever? Suppose it's the monies. You know, what do you call it? The wonderful Carolina Hearn put it best when she said to Debbie McGee, what first attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels? I get it, you know, but maybe that's just living in hope if you feel that there's nothing else that might attract you to a woman, or that might cause a woman to be attracted to you, that might recommend you to a woman. Like maybe if you've got a bit of inner confidence for just being a personality, having a personality, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, just because you are a character doesn't mean you have a character. But, you know what I mean? Maybe if you've got that, maybe you transcend. I'm reminded of people like Stavros like, there's a comedian called Stavy Baby, and if I show you his picture, look, like, this guy's incredibly successful and has had lots of sex and does look like this and does not treat women like some sort of strange object. You know, Stavy, welcome to the world in 2023 where you can be yourself with confidence and not be judged on your bank balance nor your aggression towards women in order to get laid. Like, thank God women like someone with a sense of humour. A sense of humour about their massive cock. Okay, yeah. But they still like the sense of humour. Carry on.
It comes back to you from the woman in different ways.
Sucking,
Andrew
mainly.
Tate has said things
Mainly I get them to
that
suck.
a lot of lads are thinking.
The way it comes back to me, mainly I get them to suck.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a strong alpha male.
Alpha male now. Alpha male now. That's going to be difficult because what happens when you bump heads with another alpha male? Then you're going to have all these butting heads. Aren't you? I'm a Sigma. I'll be a Sigma. I know the lingo. I'm down with the kids. I'm a Sigma male. That's me. Sigma. Look, I'll do some more memes at you. Throw some more memes at you. Sigma male. Let's put Sigma male and let's have some memes. Sigma male. That's the face. That's the face. That's the face. I mean, I know he's Patrick Bateman, he's a murderer, but that's the face. Sigma male. It's a meme, isn't it? Sigma male. It's an internet meme thing. It's better than the alpha. Trust me. Trust me, daddy. I'll be your daddy now. I'll be the daddy. It's that now. We're going to have to go, fucking hell. Me and this guy, we're going to have it out like Ray Winston from Scum and bash each other's heads into the death to find out who's the best man on the internet.
There's nothing wrong with being proud.
I suppose it's going to end up being the boxing match, isn't it? And he's done loads more press-ups than me, so he's got an advantage.
An old school man. And there's nothing wrong.
Listen, as well, I know Joe Boy Watson, like, you know, and some other people have slightly more traditional values in that way. And there are some aspects of old school masculinity that I would still say are okay. You know, if someone throws an egg at my missus, I'm going to fucking run across the road and cart them, aren't I? Because, like, you know, whatever. Like, silly little things like that. Obviously, it depends on the situation. I might have to run away again afterwards. We've all heard the stories. But, depending on the situation, like, you know, there's lots of different ways where it might be nice to rise to the occasion and, you know, be a man about stuff. But in lots of other ways, it's become a sort of symbol of toxicity and problematic psyche for many that we've had to deal with. You know, it takes balls to talk, man. Do you know what I mean? It takes balls to talk. So,
If I in, however you want to be, there's nothing wrong with a man wearing a dress. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Well, there's a lot of men that just want to be classic, old school men. There's a lot of us.
It's true, actually. You know, a lot of the people that supported Eddie Hall along his journey sort of basically felt like this, that Eddie represented this sort of aspect of, like, classic masculinity, yeah. Like, there are certain aspects, like, there are ways to sanitize it and see it in a positive way. It also, the problem is as well, it borderlines a sort of, it's okay to be a nationalist. You know, I'm not racist and I'm not bigoted. I'm just proud of my country and just want things to be back the way they were before we had all these foreign people here. Like, you know, there's a sort of borderline with that, isn't it, as well? Like, you know, for all the positives that you can state in a sort of Hollywood cinematic heroic stance, it masks and hides, and you can't have it without a lot of all the toxic things that come with. So, did I sleep? No, I haven't been to bed at all. Not at all. Alexa, sing me a song about Sleepy.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, play me a Sleepy song.
The playlist. Classical for Sleep on Amazon Music.
Thank you. Alexa, stop. That was a nice little nap I took.
To do the 9 to 5 grind. There's a lot of us that want to achieve goals. There's a lot of us that want financial freedom.
Hang on, did you say you don't want to do the grind?
Don't just want to do the 9 to 5
Don't
grind.
just want to do the 9 to 5 grind. There's the problem again. Like, I don't think you achieve the financial freedom without... It's not 9 to 5. It's like fucking... like 9 to 9. Like 8 to 9. 7 to 9. 7 to 10. Like, it's putting in lots and lots of extra hours where you don't get paid at all. And you don't become like a master without, like, what is it, 40,000 hours of... I think, like, Mr. B said it best, I think, where he says, is it 10,000 hours and you become a master at a pursuit of doing something? Like the Beatles practiced for 10,000 hours before they even made it big, and, you know, all that work they put in as a band in a small club in Germany, practicing and practicing, paid off in the end. You know what I mean? So you put in all those hours in the gym, in the hard work in the training camp, and then it comes out in the fight. So work is really important, and it's not that I don't want to do the 9 to 5 grind, so I'm going to have to find a way out of that and find a way of sitting on my arse while someone else makes me money from selling their sex on the internet, and I take a cut and they don't have a life because I'm basically keeping them in prison. It's not that. It's I'm going to put in a little bit extra than other people, and I'm going to work even harder and not even expect... Like, I know a guy who's a multi-millionaire, and he worked for about 12 years at I think he made he was making video games for mobile phones on the Nokia, and obviously he didn't make any money because Snake was the big game on the Nokia, and that was that. And it took several years before he got to the point of Candy Crush and he started to make some money, but then he fucking did. And like this idea of 10,000 hours to create mastery, Mr. B said that he thought about his videos. He thought, if I can put 10,000 hours in and become a master, what happens if I can put in like 10 years? Like, well, how many thousand hours is in a year, and how many years? Like, he did some maths, and like he was like, I'm going to put in 100,000 hours, like, and become more, like a super master, like a master squared or whatever. Like, people have that attitude. Yeah, I get it. Like, work is important. Working hard is important for your goals, and there's no quantifying and physical. You know, you don't get paid for it. Like, it's just you just do it. You just want to be better. I don't think Andrew Tate needs to teach you that either. Again, I think if you're reflecting on Andrew Tate teaching you that, then you're looking at the wrong place, because Andrew Tate is not even the big success. Like, you know, surely there are other people that are far more successful, very much more visible, that you can look at. And like, I dissed Anthony Joshua earlier, but, you know, you got to give him credit for the hard work and then being able to take the steroids. But like, you know, you've got to give people credit where it's due. Like, even Tyson Fury, who for some times, you know, dark side, you know, drugs and all that, I still give him credit. Like, you know, you've got to put the work in, and that level, that extra level, like whatever it is. But I can talk, yeah, I can talk. Isn't it? I've stayed up all night and I'm just trying to do a react, but I don't know when to shut up, do I?
There's a lot of us that want to achieve goals. There's a lot of us that want financial freedom.
For editing me in the fly in chat there. Like.
There's a lot of us that want to be strong mentally and physically. There's a lot of us that want a very high value woman. Well, how do you get a high value woman? You make yourself a high value man. Andrew Tate has influenced so many men, and probably some women as well, but he's influenced so many men largely to become better men.
I missed the comedy timing here, look.
A lot of us that want a very high value woman. Well, how do you get a high value woman?
Right, hypnol her and put her in a bin bag and stuff her in the boot of your car.
You make yourself a high value man. Andrew Tate has influenced so many men, and probably some women as well, but he's influenced so many men largely to become better men. He's literally saved,
I think that's debatable.
People's lives.
I think that's
I've had
debatable.
People that have killed themselves. It's devastating. There's probably been someone with a noose around the neck, or close to doing it, or close to overdosing, and they've watched an Andrew Tate video and they've gone, right, I'll try the gym, I'll try the press-ups in the
He's
morning.
not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like,
I'll try and set myself goals. I'll go and do that thing I've wanted to do for ages. It's helping men to achieve. I think the most important thing out of everything that I've said is that Andrew Tate is saving lives.
he's not the fucking ambulance.
And that's the most beautiful thing you can do in the world, is save another person's life. And he's doing that. No matter what you think of him, you speak to men between the age of 20 and 40, go and ask them if he's helped them. And I think a lot of them will say, yeah, Andrew Tate has helped me. Andrew Tate.
It depends where you ask. What social class? I mean, demographic. But also I do think he transcends some of those aspects. But does it really, like, does the average man really think Andrew Tate's helped them? If so, it's a sad indictment on society. He's just making up facts now that support his argument that are just made up bollocks. It is all a bit bollocks, yeah. And Silvermoon Warrior, definitely Manchester area, yeah, just up by Nicola Bulley's way. Close enough to drive up there and be the one that murdered her, dressed all in black. Maybe he did it while he was recording this video. I don't fucking know. I'm only joking about that, obviously. I'm not suggesting he's going to murder someone so that he can capitalise on that by creating a YouTube channel out of it after already being very interested in murder. That's Alan that fits that description. But we've got like Alan Jr. on our hands now, haven't we?
Has saved me. And I, for one, have had my life improved massively.
Good for you.
By Andrew Tate's influence. I've heard stories about
Say his
when he's
name
off
again.
camera, he's not, he's not making his silly remarks, he's not doing his attention sort of grabbing remarks, he's not doing his controversial remarks.
Well, no, he's just sitting around fucking stroking his dick, isn't he? Like doing 100 press-ups, I imagine. Eating fucking fruit bars all day or some shit, like he says on his video. Now, I've heard stories that off his videos, he's quite different to the way he presents on the videos. And that's probably a good thing too.
When he gets onto the, when he gets onto the set, or when he's being interviewed, he puts on a bit of a bravado, I believe. But at the same time as some of his silly comments and silly remarks, there is some absolute nuggets of gold.
You're a nugget.
In there. Self-improvement, working on the body, knowing how to speak to women, how to be respected, how to achieve or try.
How to be respectful is the key to be respected.
Try and achieve financial freedom. Discipline. Here's a little test for the boys. Before you reach for a chocolate bar,
do 100 press-ups and stop fucking crying.
Before you reach for a beer, do 50 press-ups. I'm now totally addicted to doing press-ups. I'm totally addicted to achieving goals. I'm totally addicted to setting targets. I'm totally addicted to making myself a high-value man.
Well, that doesn't sound unhealthy in any way.
I'm addicted to becoming a better person. I'm addicted to being respected. And I'm also addicted
to crack. So if you could give me those as super chats for asking questions, it's going to really help. I'm addicted to Andrew Tate's cock and I can't get enough of it. I've been sucking it for the last 2 hours. I had the wherewithal to stop drinking, so I do know what that feels like to, struggle with addictions. Of course, I still smoke loads, don't I? But yeah, it's just they're basic things. They're not Andrew Tate things, are they? But this must be an Andrew Tate teaching, isn't it? You're no longer addicted to drugs. You're no longer addicted to FIFA. You're now addicted to press-ups, and it's almost like military discipline. You're now addicted to press-ups, and you're now addicted to running, and you're now addicted to winning, and you're now addicted to fucking eating all of your porridge.
Saving other people's lives.
Yeah.
If you are feeling suicidal,
Yep, go to the gym.
If
do
you are
press-ups.
feeling low, if you are in the gutter, do 50 press-ups.
Fuck no. Jesus, he actually said it. To some people it might help them, one or two out there, statistically it's likely that any suggestion of doing something else, even, exercise might change or break your frame of mind, any suggestion of distraction is probably better than the worst thoughts. But How I Cured Depression in the Male Population by Andrew Tate, and it's just a pamphlet and it says do 50 press-ups. And it's just that on a piece of paper. We've got the NHS waiting list is going to be cut down massively because, as I said, we're moving them all into the NHS. Everyone that's in the NHS mental health service is going to be shifted over very quickly to the David Lloyd gym. And you've got a health plan. It's not like you're going to go and pick up your prescription for your medication. And there's just going to be people in line just doing press-ups. Can I get my tablets today? No, actually you can't have tablets today, but we do have this leaflet courtesy of Andrew Tate Enterprises. It says press-ups on it, so you're going to see them doing the press-ups over there in the corner with them. Press-ups. Yeah, over there in the corner. I don't want to go and feeling quite sad. Sad corner. Press-ups. It does remind me of the attitude as well. Like, I looked at Foodie Beauty recently, and I really think that eating is an issue. Like, for some people, there's lots of different psychologies behind it, and maybe I've been a bit too swift to be crude, but she's also known as a bit of a lolcow and a narcissist, so I've jumped in there a bit. But it's as simple as saying, well, are you too fat? Stop eating the cakes. Right, next. Could you imagine if Andrew Tate was a doctor? What if Andrew Tate was your mental health counsellor, and like you went to the because I've been to the mental health services and been through the process of what do they call it? Like, before you actually get to see somebody, you have to go through a process of being categorized or whatever. You go and talk to them and tell them what you feel like, and they make notes and they say, well, I would recommend this, and this is probably what we should do. So I went through that process, and could you imagine if you go and you say, well, I've been feeling quite down about this, and this has been a problem, and and they ask you these questions about what they usually would do is like, how do you feel on a scale of like 1 to 10, 1 being not very much, 10 being quite a lot? I feel despondent, or feel I've got no motivation. They go through this like questionnaire with you. Instead of doing that, they're like, how many press-ups can you do? How many sit-ups can you do? Can you hang on this bar for me? Right, how long can you hang on the bar? Chunky, look at you, Kit Kat Chunky. You're good in chat, you're funnest. It seems so fucking weird to me. Like, having done all these things myself in my life, having been both physically fit and depressed, I think it's fucking ridiculous as well. Like, actually, at my most depressed, I was also quite physically fit. Like, I'm probably less physically fit now and less depressed. So I'm actually physical proof that being depressed and doing press-ups doesn't have a direct correlation, because I used to do loads of press-ups and be more depressed, but now I don't do so many press-ups, but I'm a lot less depressed. I got to remind everybody in chat, basically what happened here is someone said Kit Kat for some reason. I think it was because I was talking about food. And then Andy said 2 or 4 fingers. And the response from Silver Moon Warrior came, chunky. There you go.
Set yourself a goal. Go and do that hobby that you want to do.
Yeah. What if it's eating?
Go and get yourself a fresh haircut.
That's nice. What about Should I do press-ups as well? I think, what if my hobby is not doing press-ups, but fucking around playing computer games and smoking weed? Can I still do that? Because that makes me happy. But it's not on the agenda anymore. You're not going to get really happy by doing that, and you're certainly not going to get respect from a woman. So, you know, not the sort of women with big titties and aggressive attitudes that I want respect from. There's all sorts of different ladies out there with all different opinions about all different things. So I suppose even if you have this is the funny thing, is the proof of the pudding is not really in the eating. Because even if you have this opinion, like he does, and it's like sort of, I don't want to say objectively wrong, subjectively. Which one do I want to say? Because this cat's annoying me now. Objectively or subjectively, as if it's wrong. But you find someone that will shag you, like, does that make you right now? Like, there are people in this world who have got their own pain and have been, like I say, they've been brought up with the misogyny so as to revel in it and enjoy it, to become self-objectifiers. So that makes you correct then. This guy should have worked in the advertising industry in the early 80s when everyone was getting all those problems from looking at all the people that had been photoshopped on the magazines and unrealistic people on, you know. We should go back to that anyway, shouldn't we? We should actually, shouldn't we? We should go back to that. Why can't we have naked women on the cars anymore? You know? When we're buying a car, when I'm going to buy a car, I don't really want a woman in a showroom to actually be selling me the car. It feels a bit wrong. She should be sprawled across the top in her bikini. I should talk to the men about the car. What's the world coming to? All right, you're not going anywhere. I've got you now because you keep meowing.
And a shave. Make yourself look good. And you should make yourself feel good.
No,
mental health, suicide is a pandemic in itself.
Listen, did you say if you look good, you feel good? Kind of, yes. But like, it goes hand in hand with depression, that if you are in a state of depression, you're less you're less sort of interested in making yourself look good because you are depressed. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle, that. And then on the other side of the coin, you are to say that those that have got good makeup skills are now not depressed again. Like those girls on Instagram, like when they do the good Instagram picture, they've got the good Instagram picture, so now they're not depressed. But it doesn't work like that.
And if there's people out there that can help with that,
Like
can help save you,
beauticians.
then I'm all for that.
Hairdressers.
Feeling low,
Beauticians. If you're feeling low, do press-ups and have a haircut.
reach out to somebody.
Oh, now we've got to reach out to somebody because it's taken 20 fucking minutes. Talk to people, talking to people, but don't reach out to people like you because you're going to tell them to go and do press-ups, you prick.
Go to the gym. Set goals. Set targets. You should start to feel better about yourself. It's never too late to make changes in your own life.
And then those things are just cliches that people say, you know, because you're doing the mental health support, so they're just cliches that people say. It's not actually substantial mental health support, this. Be tougher.
Yeah, I was very low. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I didn't work out. I was drinking a bit too much. I was having a little smoke. Doing nothing for my mental health. I wanted to be in a better financial situation. Didn't do anything about it though. Then I stumbled over Andrew Tate, who's helped me. And I'll tell you this as a fact. I'm not the only person that Andrew Tate has helped. It's never too late. If you've always wanted to write a book, or you've always wanted to write a song, or you've wanted to be a bodybuilder, write the first verse of the song. Write the first page of the book. Create a character for the book. Just start off doing 100 press-ups a day and slowly increase it. If you want to start your own business, you don't need £100,000 of investment to start a business.
Well, it totally depends on what your business is. The thing that he's missed in all this is it's about education. I said it earlier, it's about education.
Small on Facebook. Start a little page. Plant the seed. And let the seed grow. Andrew Tate has helped me with an awful lot of this. And if Andrew Tate has saved lives. He can't be all that bad. I think he's great for this generation of men. I think he's helped so many. So in answer to my first question, has Andrew Tate saved a generation of men? I think he has.
And that's a presentation from my GCSE in debate class.
Take care.
Chuffer.
Reach out to someone if you're not feeling too good. See you in the next one. Peace out.
Bye. I'm glad we did that. I got it off my chest. I mean, it took forever, didn't it? That's been forever. How long have I been streaming now? I'm supposed to be playing Genshin Impact. All I've done is do that for hours now, but it's keeping me awake.